Join me as I dive into the wild world of parenting by seeing what happens when my kid finds my gray hair and calls me out on my bad habits. Today, I want to talk about something that I think every parent can relate to: the moment when our kids discover our imperfections. You know, those little things that we try to hide or brush off, but eventually get found out. For me, it was my gray hair and some not-so-great habits that I've developed over the years. But what happens when our kids stumble upon these secrets? How do they react? And more importantly, how do we react as parents? When my kid first saw my gray hair, I could sense a mix of confusion and concern. They didn't understand why mommy's hair was suddenly white in some spots. They'd ask me questions like, "Why is your hair gray, mommy?" Or, "Are you getting old?" It was cute, but also a bit unsettling. I mean, who wants their kid to think they're old, right? But at the same time, it was an opportunity for me to explain to them that growing older is a natural part of life, that it's okay to have gray hair, and it doesn't define who I am as a person. As for my bad habits, let's just say my kid has a keen eye for spotting them. They'll notice when I'm scrolling through my phone during dinner, or when I'm eating a snack that I shouldn't be. And you know what? They'll call me out on it. They'll say things like, "Mommy, you're supposed to be setting a good example," or, "Why are you doing that when you told me not to?" It's like they have this built-in radar that detects whenever I'm not practicing what I preach. At first, it can be a bit embarrassing, but it's also a great opportunity for growth. It forces me to reflect on my actions and make changes. I mean, who doesn't want to be a better role model for their kids, right? But it's not always easy. There are times when I feel like I'm being judged or criticized, and it can be hard to take feedback from someone who's still learning about the world. My kids' reactions to my gray hair and bad habits have been a mix of curiosity, concern, and even a bit of judgment. They'll ask me questions like, "Why do you do that, mommy?" Or, "Is it bad to have gray hair?" And I have to take a deep breath and explain things to them in a way that they can understand. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. There was one time when my kid confronted me about my gray hair and habits in a way that really caught me off guard. We were getting ready for school, and they just blurted out, "Mommy, why do you have gray hair? You're not old, are you?" And then they followed it up with, "And why do you eat junk food when you tell me it's bad for me?" It was like they had been storing up all these questions and concerns, and just let them all out at once. I was taken aback, but I tried to stay calm and have a conversation with them. I explained to my kid that everyone gets gray hair as they get older, and it's just a natural part of life. I told them that it doesn't define who I am as a person, and that I'm still the same mommy they love and trust. And as for my bad habits, I acknowledged that I'm not perfect and sometimes make mistakes. But I also promised them that I would try to do better, and that I would work on setting a better example for them. It wasn't the easiest conversation to have, but it was an important one. Looking back on that conversation, I realized that it was a pivotal moment in our relationship. It showed me that my kid is paying attention, and that they care about what I do. It also showed me that I need to be more mindful of my actions and make sure I'm practicing what I preach. And you know what? It brought us closer together. We were able to have an open and honest conversation, and it strengthened our bond. So if you're a parent who's been caught off guard by your kid's discovery of your imperfections, just remember that it's an opportunity for growth and connection. Take the time to have open and honest conversations with your kids, and don't be afraid to apologize or make changes. And if you want to hear more about my experiences with parenting, be sure to check out my other video on family dynamics and parenting. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell.